All right, so I guess so. I'll go through the agenda, but I'm gonna go to Annie first because I know she has a small little announcement that she wants to make. So we'll start there.
Since our last meeting, my husband and I are relocating. We are moving our family out of Wakefield. So unfortunately, this very well could be my last meeting with everybody. We are moving to Topsfield. We needed more space, and after looking for a long time, we found what we needed. Unfortunately, not in Wakefield, but we'll have more space for the kids and for our family, and I think it'll be a good move for us, although we're really sad to leave our community here. And I'm sorry to leave this group. This is something I've really enjoyed. So, and I would, if it wasn't against the rules, I would love to stay on it. But
well, you'll be missed.
Hopefully I can do something similar.
And I told Annie and I are two people who don't like we don't like a whole lot of fanfare. We kind of like to be the behind the scenes kind of characters, and that's I signed up to be the front person here, so I kind of get it. But I do have to say, Annie, you've been a great resource for me. You've been a great supporter. A lot of stuff on Facebook that I would have missed, you've clued me into. So I appreciate everything that you've done for me personally, professionally, and I will certainly miss you. So best of luck to you and your family, because our next meeting is actually the week that you're moving.
Okay.
And I know that you're going to be so busy.
Chances are I'll be packing boxes. So.
Right. Having been through that, granted, I moved 14 years ago, but you never forget that feeling. So I wouldn't want to subject you to that. So thank you for everything you've done. And I'll connect with you offline about a few things that I need you to do before you leave. Okay. So
sounds good.
One thing that I was going to do on the top of our agenda today was to do the reorganization of the commission. But, in light of Annie's announcement tonight, which I was previously aware of, I didn't know how soon we'd have to do it, but we're here now. And without Bob and Julie here and Jed, I think I want to delay that until next month to reorganize and figure out, do people want to stay in the positions they're at? Do we want to have, new chair, new vice chair, whatever? Does Rich want to finally, get out of the chair position that he's been in for so long? So
no, he doesn't.
I think we'll table that for a month, if that's all right with you guys.
Sure.
Okay. Sure. And again, whoever's chair, vice chair, I love you all. I can work with you all. It's up to you guys. So something to think about for the next month, but I want everybody involved in that conversation. So on to programming updates. So I'm only going to give you guys updates on programs that are currently running or will start before our next meeting. I figure I don't want to inundate you too much with here's all things we have going all summer, because it's ever changing. But kind of here's where we're at right now. So we're running a program with Central Rock Gym. It's an indoor climbing facility in Stoneham. We have 10 kids in the program. It's going fantastically well. Everything that I've heard has been so positive. So we're excited about that, and I can see us continuing with that program and going forward. We're doing archery. Right now we have 6 registered for archery. It is going. We are actually doing this with Stoneham Recreation. I partnered with Stoneham because I knew I was going to be tight on space for fields, and I knew that they had more field space. So we partnered with them. We've got 6 over there. They sent some kids to us last time, so it worked out really well. There was a little hiccup last week where one of the high school baseball games in Stoneham ran over. So the instructor canceled last week's class, but he's going to make it up at the end. So that will all work out, and it's going well. I've talked to a few parents, and they're satisfied with the way everything's going, and they love the instructor. He's fabulous. We also have soccer shots for Tots. That is taking place on Sundays at Dolbear. We have 36 kids registered for that program. Fabulous numbers. Again, he's a new vendor to us, not soccer shots, but him. This particular owner of this franchise, he's new to us, but he's been great to work with. So we have that, and it's going well. Coming up for the first week of summer for us, so basically the week of June 21st, we will have a Warrior softball clinic with Chris Toyos, the high school coach. 18 girls are currently registered. Very good numbers for the start and for our first year, because we couldn't run it last year because of COVID. We have a chess program that's going to run out of the Civic Center. We have 10 kids signed up right now for chess. Really good numbers for us for the first time with that. We have Jason Pavey, the high school girls basketball coach, is going to be running a clinic that week. We literally just started registration this morning. We already have 5 registered, so that'll have decent numbers as well. Did I miss anything? Nope. Those are the programs that we have coming up for the first week of summer and the ones that we have currently going. Any questions, concerns, or otherwise about those?
I don't.
Okay. And Chris, definitely chime in because I can see everybody else's reactions. I obviously can't see yours, so.
Oh, obviously not.
Watch nodding his head up and down.
Yeah, right. All right, so on to the Civic Center. So men's basketball groups that have been running with us forever, they're back and running and things seem to be going well. And everything in the state really starts opening up again Saturday. So starting next week, we'll be looking to fire the Civic Center back up. Really more so for the gym. We're holding off on doing anything to Heritage Room until Wakefield Academy is out of the building. We have a lot of dedicated space to them, and they have a lot of equipment in there that I don't want to get damaged. It's not causing us to lose any money because we are charging them for that space through the school department, and that will come back in CARES Act money. So it's still a win-win for us, but we're holding off on renting that space. So we're going to really gear up on trying to get the gym back up and rented as much as we can because it's revenue, so we want it. That's really everything with the Civic Center. Any questions, Civic Center?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Moving on to fields. So youth sports and high school sports are up and running and going well. We do have a few new groups who are going to start renting space in the next few weeks. Women's softball actually starts on Tuesday, June 8th, and they are taking place at Vets. They're ready to roll. Then we have the over 50s men's baseball. They actually start on June 5th. I worked out their schedule so it won't conflict with the high school or with youth. They're going to play strictly at Walsh. They are going to do technically afternoons for the month of June, and then they'll do mornings for the month of July. They only have 7 games, I think, so that'll go well. And they're an easy group to work with. And then the Twi League is going to be coming back to us as they have for many, many years now. I pushed them back a week. They tend to start right around Father's Day. I pushed them back until, I'm sorry, they usually start the week before Father's Day. They're starting on the 21st this year. And they'll be at Moulton. Again, then there's gonna be no conflicts with the other age groups. So we can work around that. I know youth baseball is gonna have more of a senior Little League presence during the summer, kind of be part of that travel league that they're part of with other towns. I've advised them that, during the summer months, they need to stay away from Twi so we can get their league in so they can use Sullivan and Walsh. Just can't use Walsh on Saturday mornings when the men's over 50 needs it. So that's kind of where we are with fields. There's a ton of requests for field space in the summer, specifically for turf fields. That's still a work in progress that I have to get myself through. I just have so many other things on the docket right now, but we'll get to them. And, we'll have Target Soccer Academy will be coming back. They've been with us for 5 or 6 years now. And that's a good program run by the Reading High coach, the Wakefield High coach, and the Stoneham coach. So we'll have them back on Tuesdays and Thursday nights at the high school. So that's where we are right now with all that. But we do have more field schedules that'll be coming up. And like I said, the amount of requests that we get in are off the charts. So it's a good problem to have. I'd love to be able to fit everybody in. It's gonna be difficult, but we'll do the best we can. One thing everybody should know is next week, and this really impacts youth lacrosse, and they're already aware of all this. Sadly, on Wednesday through Sunday of next week, they really can't use Landrigan turf at all. And it's for actually good reasons. The high school seniors are having all sorts of senior events up there from prom to graduation. So they'll be up at Landrigan all week. And then on Tuesday night, I think it is Tuesday or Wednesday, I can't remember which night off the top of my head. They're using Beasley as well for their senior night. So a lot of senior activities going on at the high school next week. Exciting times for them. And obviously, these kids have been through enough and they need something to look forward to. So we're excited that they're able to have that. Unfortunately, the youth lose out, but these kids they're just due. So we're excited about that for them. Any questions on fields?
Nope.
Just, Dan, it's some point where we're gonna have a discussion on maybe resetting the fee schedule?
Yeah, so Gina, it's definitely a study that I need to do. I need to reach out to all of our, I guess I would call them similar communities and see what are they charging and what are they charging for similar space. Because, a lot of towns will sit there and say, well, I have a turf field. Well, is it dedicated, soccer field? Is it a lacrosse field? Is it a multi-purpose field? Is it a football field? I want to compare apples to apples. How big is it? Do they have stands? Do they have concessions? I need to know all that information so we're all on the same page. And we definitely need to look at it. Grass fields are pretty easy, and I can tell you right now that we undercharge for grass fields. If you wanted to do vets before the lights come on, it's $20 an hour. We flip the lights on, it's $30 an hour. It's really short money in the grand scheme of things. And I think, the AAU programs, which are very prevalent these days, not that I'm looking to bring in those types of groups, not that there's anything wrong with them, I'm just not looking to bring them in. They would pay through the nose for space. And they charge through the nose for space. So I think when we do it, we need to do a structure like we already have, but we might need to add a structure for AAU club kind of programs, because they are just so many out there, and they charge a ton and are paying, at least in Wakefield, a very small amount. So I hope to have that, sometime this summer when summer's my busy season, but it's not my busy season preparing wise. It's a lot of busy work. It's not something that right now, like, I got to dive into things. I don't have time to do the field stuff right now, but that will be something that I'll focus on once summer camp starts, which is roughly, the 21st. That's when we'll really get gearing on that, and hopefully have a presentation for you guys before September. That would be my goal.
So who would you be looking at? Like Melrose, Reading, Stoneham?
Yep, but even beyond that, we can go out to Wayland. We can go to Natick was a town that I think is one in similar size. Now those are the things I need to get from Amy Forziati. So when Amy does a study on jobs and they want to see which towns pay comparable for comparable positions, I want to find those towns and target those directly.
Dan, would you ever consider maybe hiring like a summer intern or something like that? Somebody for short money to maybe do some of that legwork, make some of those phone calls. It could be a good project for a high school,
Annie, I had that all lined up.
Graduate or something.
I had that position all lined up last year. That person was hired, and COVID happened.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, this year with COVID, I didn't know if we were going to even have the budget to be able to sponsor that position.
Right.
So I didn't hire. I would love to have had a summer intern, especially the kid I had in mind is a Springfield College student. I went to Springfield College. Lives in Wakefield. Everything. This was, he was a recreation management major or sports management major. I'm like, you're exactly what I'm looking for, right out of Central Casting, and boom, that
right.
person's going to do a lot of that stuff.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm just thinking that for whatever, even if it's not in the budget, you might be able to advocate for something like that this year, thinking that any increases in fees that are a result of the project would pay for the work that goes into figuring it all out.
Here's the other thing. So around last February, I had a conversation with Steve Mayo and said, Steve, I'm ready to hire an assistant director. There's a lot of things that I could pass on to that person. So there's other things that I can focus on. And again, that was a COVID casualty. So
right. No, understood.
Hopefully, this year, and if we're able to generate more revenues, and right now, honestly, like our summer numbers are great. I couldn't be happier with where they are. Maybe next February, I'm revisiting that with Steve, and we're able to put that in the budget for the following year. So next July, I'm hopefully hiring somebody for a position to help out, because
that would be exciting.
It's becoming daunting, especially with something that I'll discuss in the new business stuff. So good questions though about field stuff. Any other questions about fields? No? Okay.
Nope.
So I wanted to
Dan?
Yeah, Rich.
I had a question about the AmeriPal.
Yep.
what are the restrictions now? I know that Lizzie's been bugging me about finding a place to have a senior prom,
Right.
and I don't know that she could do it there. I don't even know if it'd hold the junior class, but
So I will have to reach out to the Board of Health and see exactly what we could or could not do indoors. So I know for me, okay, if I going into town hall up until Saturday, I have to sign in and I have to wear a mask. As of Saturday, because I'm vaccinated, I'm fully vaccinated, I no longer need to wear a mask in town hall. They will have somebody at the front desk who's not going to necessarily ask if you are if you have your shots or not, but they'll sit and say, if you don't have your shots, we need you to put on a mask.
yeah, like Billy did it last year. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we are right now with things with town hall. You know, I think for a junior prom, your best bet, honestly, right now, do it outside.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Well,
And-
just
and right now we have so many things in the gym because again, Wakefield Academy is still there, and you know you play basketball on Thursday nights.
Yep.
There's so many tables and chairs and balls and you know where would we put it all on top of the kids?
sure. No, I get it. I'm just looking around for ideas at this point.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you guys want to try and do a field, I can help you make that one work.
Okay.
You know, or even you know, basketball court at Galvin.
Yeah. Well, field might work. They run. You know, the school has schools have some restrictions.
Right.
So they were trying to get away from sort of a school-sponsored event because
Right.
of the restrictions.
Yeah, I know Linda's working on something too.
Yeah. Well, you've got a daughter the same age, T. So here we are. All right. Yeah. So maybe we can talk about that later.
I will reach out to Ruth and just see, though Ruth's got days left. I'll reach out to others at the Board of Health to see what we could possibly do. Because if we can host it, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Just wanna make sure
I mean,
that
I just,
we're able to do it.
you know, yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. In fact, let me just drop myself a note to do that tomorrow. Okay. So circling back to the Dobbins tennis courts play local scheduling that we talked about last time. So I reached out to Anmol. Unfortunately, he was unavailable to meet with us, but he did send me some great information. So he acknowledged that we have a very active tennis community, which is something that didn't surprise me. Last year, Wakefield had 4,720 reservations and 425 players in their system. That's big numbers, especially considering last year they served 45,000 bookings. So we had 4,700 of that. Again, I think it's pretty strong numbers. They are used in Boston, including Alston, Chestnut Hill, West Roxbury, Lexington, Arlington, Melrose, Reading, and Wellesley. It's a free service, and one thing I asked him is, would we be able to, if we wanted to change from 1 hour to 1.5 hours, because that was a conversation that came up. Some tennis players, Todd and Julie specifically had mentioned last time, as former tennis players, 1.5 hours more conducive to them. He said that 1 hour is the standard, though 2 hours is permitted for doubles, and for many reasons, but most importantly, reservation efficiency. And this actually made sense to me. If we did an hour and a half, conceivably, we could have gaps all over the place. So somebody might sit there and say, oh, I want, 7 to 8:30, but then somebody really wanted 8 to 9. So they need to either do 8:30, maybe they want to go 9 to 10. It does create gaps, and I would like to create consistency, and I would like to keep 1 hour per reservation, though there's nothing stopping somebody from booking 2 hours at a time. And if they want to leave after a while, they leave after a while. That's on them. But that's just me. I did ask, if other towns charge. He said Lexington and Wellesley do. Lexington does a tennis pass, and then fees for members for lighted courts in the evenings. Wellesley charges a $5 fee for lighted courts in the evenings. They're the only ones who are charging right now. Everybody else is free. I will say that because we charge for out-of-towners, and that mine was just for resident fee. I did get a check from them last week prior to my sending this email to them. we got a check for $975 for rentals last year. I can tell you that in my however many years here now, 7 years, we've never got $975. So people are using the system. It seems to be working. The glitches not that were there, and they were there, seem to be gone. I know Reading and Arlington are very pleased with the system. Lexington, I haven't reached out to yet, though I know their assistant director very well. And I know him well enough to know that if it wasn't working, he wouldn't be doing it. And they're a very large department in Lexington. They have 5 full-time staff. And if they wanted somebody dedicated to book tennis courts, they have the staff to do it. They're using the service for a reason. So I don't know if that helps anybody or hurts anybody with the conversation we had last time, or gives you other questions. Anything? Nothing?
So we're gonna stick with the outlet then.
I mean, I like it. And I brought
I like
it up because somebody brought it to me as a concern. I think the numbers, if I'm going just off of numbers, that 4,700 people reserved courts last year to them. Imagine that I had to do 4,700 rentals for tennis courts. That's a big number. You know, they have 425 people in their system who call Wakefield home. It's a lot of people who are going out there renting courts. I think if we change it, I think it creates more chaos. But that's me. If you guys say, hey, we want to do it differently, we want to go in-house and have the department do it, we'll do it. We'll find a way to make it work.
I think it makes sense to keep it as it is, particularly just given that you got an almost $1,000 check out of it. And you can always use these numbers as baseline and see how it goes next year.
Right.
And see if it's worth changing.
Yeah, not at this juncture, Dan. You know, if you get that assistant next year and numbers continue to go up, then, you know, we can revisit this.
Right. And, you know, I think the gentleman who reached out to me, I think he had some valid points. I do. You know, the 1.5 hours versus 1 hour, that's a tennis thing. That's not a recreation thing. That's a preference thing. You know, he's used to playing at the private courts, which I understand, and that's what they do. You know, we don't just rent out tennis courts. We have 5 billion other things going on. And of course, they don't just rent out tennis courts either. They're doing lessons and such, but that's their main focus. We have a lot of other things on our plate, so I'd prefer to keep it as is for now. And I'd say table this till next year, and let's see how the next year goes. And I'll reach out to him and tell him that that's my recommendation. And you know, if he wants to come next year in front of us, and if it's still not working, I'd love to bring him in person whenever we can meet in person, because I think that's a good conversation to have.
My only note with that, Dan, is let him know that's our recommendation, so you don't take the total, you know, brunt of his wrath. You know,
that would need to be a motion by somebody and a vote by the board.
I'd like to make a motion to keep the tennis at 1 hour time limits.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed? There you go, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Yep, you are protected.
That is appreciated. Then one other thing I wanted to circle back to was the outdoor basketball courts. So I mentioned last time that we had a bunch of groups who were looking to rent some space at the courts. So we do have Communitas who is using the courts. They are the special needs organization that is using them on Tuesday nights. So they're down there, and that's going well. Then John Walsh and Paul Moran, 2 local coaches, wanted to do a high school league and a youth league. The league does include the boys' high school basketball team and the girls' high school basketball team, from what I understand, or it's going to include them. They had wanted 2 nights at Galvin. They actually decided that the 2 nights at JJ works just as well. So they're going to use JJ instead of Galvin, which allowed me to open up another rental at Galvin for another special needs group. You guys have been around town for a while, might know Marie and Dan Ray. Dan's just a great kid. He's part of a Special Olympics basketball program. The kids wanted to get out and start doing some practicing again, so we rented the courts to them actually at no charge. from 6 to 7 p.m. on Thursday nights. I just felt like it was the right thing to do. Dan's brother, Matt, is running the practices for the kids. And they started last week, and supposedly everything went well. So they're only here through July 1st anyway. So few weeks for them to get out and get some exercise and be normal kids again. So that's where we are with the outdoor courts. And of course, WBA is still going on. So I haven't heard anything good, bad, or indifferent about them. So that's kind of where we are with basketball. Any questions on basketball courts? No? Okay. So new business. So as you have probably seen in the daily item and on Facebook, the Boys and Girls Club was awarded the boating concessions bid. I went over both of the bids with Steve Mayo. I had watched their presentations on town council meeting. I wanted to get a feel as to who would be the better fit. Boating in Boston has been in Wakefield since apparently 2009. I've only known of them being here since 2014 because that's since I've been here. And I've had minimal interaction with them at best. The only interaction that I've had with boating in Boston has been I've done summer camps for them, and all of our camps have taken place at Spot Pond. So I had no knowledge of their leadership or anything of that before the site visit that we took in. I want to say it was March now, but the dates are getting a little hazy with me. Boys and Girls Club, obviously I work with. They're in the Civic Center. So Steve and I sat down. We went through the positives and the negatives of both, and we felt more comfortable with the Boys and Girls Club. I know that there is some feeling that the Boys and Girls Club isn't qualified or that's not what they do. You know, they're programmatic, they're not boat renters. And I can understand that. I will tell you that when I was in Arlington, the recreation department, my last year there, though I was just as I was leaving, we did boat rentals. And we had somebody there who literally had them sign a waiver and collect money. So the business portion of it is not hard. That can be done. Steve and I are meeting with the Boys and Girls Club tomorrow to go over some things that we'd like to see from them. Specifically, lifeguards or waterfront staffing, certifications that we want to see from them that they need to have, because we're concerned about safety, but they are too. So it's going to be interesting. I think if we gave it to Boating in Boston, they're there next Monday and it's up and running gone. The Boys and Girls Club, I can tell you right now, they're not going to be up next Monday. They have the boats. I've had conversations. They already have kayaks in hand.
Where do they get the boats from, Dan?
I don't know. I know. I had heard a while back before they even put in the bid that they had somebody who would purchase the boats for them. So they already have them. That's what I've been told, is they already have it. And whether they got the bid or not, they were going to take programs out on the lake and do something with their camps, which is their right to do that. They could do that. So they already have all the equipment that they need. They're going to get more equipment because they're going to include some paddle boats and they're going to include kayaks. They have kayaks. They're going to include canoes.
Dan?
So they're going to be doing
Did boat?
Stuff. Yep, go ahead, Rich.
That was just a question. Did boating in Boston include sailboats in their plan?
No, in sailboats is not something that we were. So when the bid was constructed, we admittedly copied or mirrored what Beverly Recreation has done. And theirs included sailboats. We were not going to do sailboats because we were never going to compete with the Quantico Yacht Club. That was never the intention. That was actually just an oversight on our part. We would never want to compete with the Quantico Yacht Club.
Okay.
What about
Dan, can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Is there, I'm sorry, I know this is just my opinion. I kind of blame Steve Mayo for this. You know, everybody's complaining about, you know, the Boston Recreation not taking care of things, but they weren't checked up on. You know, did they sign a contract? How long was it for? You know, nobody, they didn't give any money. That's not their fault. If Steve Mayo didn't ask for any money, why would they give it? You know, I don't know. I think it would have been nicer if was kind of with Ed Dombrowski on this, that it would have been nice to have it in combination. You know, if the expertise could go both ways. You know, that was just kind of my feeling on it.
My feeling was, on top of them collaborating, quite honestly, I feel like that cuts me out. You know, because now.
Well, no, God knows I wouldn't want to do that. No, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, I looked at it, and this wasn't why I selected Boys and Girls Club by any stretch of the imagination, because I was going to have I now do have direct oversight of the Boys and Girls Club boat rentals. That's going to report directly to me. My job is to go down and check up on them and make sure that the contract that we're going to sign is enforced.
Is there a time limit on it, just in case things don't work out?
It's a 1 year. It's a 1 year right now,
and
if all goes well, they'll get 2 additional years. But after this year, they're going to have to go back before town council and present. Here's the revenues that were generated. Here's the successes. Here's the failures. I'm sure my input will be asked. Dennis Fazio's input will be asked, because we want to make sure that the site is maintained the way that we want it to look. It's going to be more of a collaborative thing than it has been in the past. And,
yeah, because I mean, I don't have anything against the Boys and Girls Club either. I mean, I think they do a wonderful job with the kids and all their programs and everything. I don't know. I kind of feel bad that all of a sudden it was just like because I got a call and an email from Julie Scott saying, you know, you have to stick up for the Boys Club, and I said, no, I don't, Julie. You know, I said, that's the way you want to go. That's fine. I said, whoever gets it, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure they'll do a great job. So, but I just had a couple of concerns. That's all.
I think the Boys and Girls Club will actually do a very good job. They actually have 3 directors or 3 people within the leadership who all have waterfront experience. Quite honestly, you know, I'll ask you guys who maybe been down there, who was the staff who was working there for boating in Boston? They were high school, college age kids. What were their qualifications? We don't know.
We don't know.
I do know that the person who's going to be the direct on-site supervisor, who's supposedly there 7 days a week, Amanda Haley, has waterfront experience, and she ran a camp that took place on the Atlantic Ocean, you know, up in Marblehead. So they boated kids from Marblehead to this island, with boating, and then had to get them back. So he's done stuff that I can't even fathom. John Brinkman, the COO of the Boys and Girls Club, worked at that same camp prior to her. Adam Rogers, the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club, worked at that prior to John. So they have overall, I think it was 10 to 14 years of experience, direct waterfront. You know, I challenge that Amanda's more qualified to run the boating from that standpoint than whoever was for the boating in Boston staff. But I don't know.
Well, I was just going to say, that kind of makes my point about Steve Mayo should have been checking up on this stuff. It shouldn't have gone on this long to get to this point that, you know, people complaining they weren't doing their jobs. You know, that was my point. That's all I want to say. I just didn't want anybody think it. I think ill of the Boys and Girls Club, or I didn't want them to, you know, have the programs, because that's not the case. Right. It was just I don't think it was handled well. That's all. And there wasn't enough information. Well, I know they asked for everybody's opinion to, you know, call, and, you know, I talked to a few people, but, you know, it is what it is.
It's
you know,
one of those things where you know, I can see both sides of it. I can see the people who really want boating in Boston. I can, because that's what they do. That's all they do. You know, if we're looking for a community partnership and trying to engage more of the businesses downtown and keep things Wakefield centric, I don't know that you can get, you know, better than the Boys and Girls Club on that end. And there was a third vendor who I worked with in Arlington for a little while too, before we took it over last year, Charles River. They were wonderful. I would have loved to have seen them put a proposal in. They were there at that meeting for the site visit. They were great. And I was encouraged that they were going to put a bid in. They didn't.
Is there a reason why they didn't, Dan, that you know of, or?
No idea. No clue. That's the only time that we had heard from them, and we ended up sending them the bid package, we being the town, sent them the bid package, and they never came back with anything, so.
So Dan, just curious, from 2009 to 2020, who did have oversight?
I don't know. The contract was awarded, I don't even know if it went before town council. I honestly don't know. I don't know if it was.
I think it was us back in 2009.
I don't know.
Recreation Commission?
I believe so.
Since I've been here,
I
nothing
think
to do.
so.
I recall having a discussion, 12 years ago.
We may have discussed it. I don't think we were the overseer of them.
Yeah.
Because I think we would have asked Dan for reports over the years of the programs.
I've had nothing on them ever. So, but now I do. And
It's about time they included you, Dan.
well, it's just another one of those, all other assigned duties, that goes on your resume. Yes, when Steve was looking to put it out to bid as requested by the by town council, he asked me to reach out and see if we had anything, because again, we had done something like this in Arlington, and I thought Arlington had it, and for some reason we didn't. It put me away. So I did a little research, and I saw that Beverly and Salem, Mass, had both done voting concessions. So I asked them to send me their stuff. Salem never got back to me, which is odd. But Bruce Doig, who's the recreation director, and Beverly, who's a great guy, got back to me right away and said, here's what we've done, don't know how this works. Send it over to Steve, and we mirrored it because it worked for us. And then I knew once it said that reports back to the recreation director on Beverly's bid, I knew where this was going to go. But again, I have a great working relationship with the Boys and Girls Club. And as you guys know, I can't say that was always the case. There have been some turbulent times, but with the new leadership team, and I say the new leadership team of John Brinkman, who hasn't been there all that long, a couple of years, and specifically Joey D'Alessandro, who is the site coordinator at Wakefield, the relationship couldn't be better. I mean, I have a wonderful working relationship with them. Not that Joey's going to do anything with the boats. Things have never been better, and I see things just going up. So, and I think if we were
good
in Boston, it would have been fine as well. From a personal standpoint of level of comfort of I know who I'm going to work with immediately, I'm pleased. So, yep, go ahead.
One more quick question. I know they had a shed down there that they kept their materials in. That's obviously belonged to them.
Yep.
Do the Boys and Girls Club have something similar where they can store there so that it isn't left out?
Yep, so a memo went out. A memo went out to Boating in Boston today that they have until June 28th to remove that shed. I do know that the Boys and Girls Club plans to reach out to Boating in Boston, see if they're interested in leaving the shed in Boating in Boston, Boys and Girls Club paying for it or whatever it is. So there will be some structure there because we put that in the bid that there could be a structure there. So there will be something there. What it's going to look like, I don't know yet. But again, we meet with the Boys and Girls Club tomorrow, so I'll have hopefully a better idea then as to what their plan is, what their vision is. And I have met with John Brinkman. Today's Wednesday, so yesterday, and he's already met with the police and fire chief to go over their safety plans. They'd already sent it out to kind of, if we get this, is this gonna work for you? And it works well for both of them. So it sounds like they're in a good place. That what they need to do now, the Boys and Girls Club, is hire staff. They need to get staff, get them trained, and then they'll be ready to open. So are we looking at, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Somewhere within there is what I'll safely say. And then the good thing is, and Tony's probably right, it's probably closer to 4. The good thing is the boating concessions will go into October. So they're going to go longer.
Dan, is there a motorboat associated with the Boys and Girls Club?
I'm sorry, Sue, I missed part of that.
Do they have a motorboat?
Yes, they will have a motorboat there. Yep.
Any idea how big or how many horsepower the motor would be?
I do not know yet. Again,
No, that's
There's all
important to
new.
have.
you know, Monday happened a couple days ago, and we're still figuring it all out.
Yeah.
Is that just for their purpose? That's not
For
for,
their purposes, yes.
for their purposes.
Yeah, and their purposes of we need to tend somebody who has a medical emergency.
Yeah.
You know, those kinds of things. Not just for joyriding.
No, no, that's what I meant, for their purposes, to get to somebody that may have an issue.
Absolutely. Any other questions about voting and about the voting concessions?
Dan, my only 2 cents worth is just keep them very close, especially the first, 3, 4, 5 weeks that, we're eyeballing this.
Yep.
And I know you will.
And Tony, anything that's new is something that I tend to babysit. And any new program, any new renter in the gym, any new tenant in the facility, I'm kind of more hands-on than I typically am. I'm not a micromanager by nature. I don't, I'm not on top of my kids at all times. But my daughter got a permit last night. So we went out and I'm sitting
Oh,
there
joy, right?
grabbing the wheel at times. Like, okay, this is what we need to do. That's not my nature of doing that kind of thing. I'm kind of all right, step back, evaluate, look. I'll be down there on a daily basis, popping in, saying hi, letting them know that I'm here. You may not know when I'm going to come. I might be there morning, I might be there afternoon. I might go by at night. Who knows? I'll go pop in on weekends. It's not far for me to drive over there and just say, hey, how's it going today? And those are things that I traditionally do anyway. So.
Hey, with your daughter, you might as well just shave your head now, dude.
I'll say this: we're not doing roads yet. We're only doing cemeteries. So we're doing good so far. Last night was a little white knuckle time for Dad. Today was a little bit smoother, and hopefully by next week I can get her on a road. So she's not ready either. So she and I are at the same speed right now. It's good.
Do not go to Laurel Hill and Reading, Dan, if you're taking her out anywhere.
No, we go to Charles Lawn.
Yeah, stay off Salem Street too, if that's okay.
We live off of Salem Street, so yeah, we're not doing 129.
You should go up to Edgewater. There's somebody
Edgewater's
up
the
there,
best.
just ride around.
Hey, she needs a big open area. Right
Edgewater's
now
good.
we're great with left turns. We need to start working on right turns. So
Oh,
we're getting there.
She's got a future in NASCAR.
It's amazing. So let me see. Oh, one other question that I had that I just want to run by you guys, because and this might be a thing that I need to run by Board of Health, but this is kind of more for the moms, because you guys kind of have a sense of this thing. So for my summer day program, and I'm not using the 4-letter C word because that camp word is a swear in the recreation world. So my summer day program, I've only currently accepted registrations for full week. And I did that because I never expected that the governor was going to open up the state, next week. And never in a million years I think that. And then think that the state of emergency was going to be lifted in mid-June. Again, never in my wildest dreams. So I've always, in my mind, have done, we're just registering for full week. I got a request today, can I go back to my daily drop-ins? And I did. I allowed people to register for just 1, 2, 3, whatever days a week. Should I stick with the full week for the summer, just cause, or should I open it back up to take them the a la carte, as I call it, because that's what I've always done.
Dan, how's your registration going? Like, how are your numbers?
Yeah, so our numbers are actually, I've limited us to 50 kids per week. And I did that intentionally because I was hiring less staff, and I did hire less staff, but I can really take up to 60 kids. And I gave myself that wiggle room. 5 of the 7 weeks are at capacity or just there. There's 2 weeks that are lower. And the 4th of July week is always a lower week. And then the first week in August is always a lower week. Without fail, that's a low week. So I just don't know.
So if you did the daily drop-ins, like, how would you?
They would have to pre-register.
Can you just? Okay. So okay.
I
Was
don't
it
know.
They
more
would-
difficult for you in any way to
Oh,
let
God,
them
no.
drop in?
Oh, we can do whatever. My database.
Then-
I just don't know if a perspective of a parent who's, the expectation was, okay, it's just these kids for just this week. So we know there's going to be no, switching. We don't know who's going to, somebody might come Wednesday and another kid might come on Thursday, and another kid might come on Friday. I was kind of keeping kids with cohorts because that's what I thought I was going to have to follow. Would it bother you, or would you be concerned if you didn't know your kid was going to be grouped with the same kids every day after COVID?
That's up to the parent.
Yeah, I mean,
I like the idea. Oh, sorry, Julie, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Amy.
I was just going to say, I like the idea of offering flexibility because everyone's schedules are still kind of weird. People are not all working full time in the office. And it's really nice to have the option to just do 2 days or just do 3 days. But I understand from your side, Dan, it can be a little tricky, but maybe if you can cap it at a certain number, or definitely make people aware of it. But I personally like the idea of offering that flexibility for families.
Yeah, I was gonna piggybacking off what Annie said, definitely making if you're gonna do drop-ins, then if you ask or even if you just communicate with the families that have already registered, I wonder if any of them would come back to you and be like, no, I don't know. I would be curious how everybody else feels, because I know personally it wouldn't bother me if I was attending PAX and that there was like one kid on Wednesday, another kid on Thursday.
Okay.
But I don't know that, other families might feel
that's how I traditionally have done it. You tell me what you need and we'll make it work. Do you need full day? Do you need half day? Do you need before care? Do you need after care? Like, a la carte since we started this. This year, I'm like, all right, we have COVID. This is a whole new world for us. We're doing just, you sign up for 5 days. You're the 9 to 3. We'll have the before care, the after care, but we're all within one area. Now I'd be pulling kids from, who might come just 1 day a week. Some might come just 2 days. Now I'm grouping them with these other kids again. So I just don't know what the perception would be like. But if you think that works, and quite honestly, I probably could, if I had kids who were just here or there, I could probably make special groups for that too.
Yeah.
So there's a way to make it all work. I just want to know what a perception of a parent would be, because that's what I need to work with.
Well, Dan, what would happen if somebody tested positive for COVID? Like, what would be the protocol for the summer day program?
So we would have to do it just like school. So the kids would have to, obviously if somebody tests positive, we would have to, and I know who's grouped with who. I do all the groupings anyways.
Yeah.
We have to contact all those parents. And one thing I'm actually looking to do is I'm looking to hire a nurse for the summer. This is going to make things a heck of a lot easier for us.
That's a great idea, Dan.
In this new world, it's going to be pricey, but it's something that I think is just going to be needed. We would need to have those kids not come until they test positive. I mean, until they test negative.
Negative.
And probably twice. And then
Danny, go ahead.
And then we refund anybody who couldn't be there because of COVID this year.
The only other thought I had, Dan, is does that impact any registrations that you already have? So will people who have signed up for full week say, oh, well, now I didn't know you were offering single day. Can I now go to 2 days a week instead of 5 days a week? Is that causing problems when people go backwards?
It might create more work for us, but honestly, we're so used to that. I mean, people change out registrations all the time, and a lot of parents this year especially, and I get it, are putting their kids in summer school. So we had people who registered for us back in whenever we advertised in February, who are now pulling out because my child needs more help with reading or math, whatever. I get it, like yay! So they're going to Wakefield Academy. So these parents that we had locked in are now out. You have to do what's best for your family. So people changing things up. The best laid plans that we put together always get changed. So we can work with that. And we have enough time between now and whenever their week is to get it squared away. And do we hit our 50 target every week? Maybe we don't because of this. But ideally I like to be flexible, like you guys said, to give parents what they need to meet their needs. And in this world, parents need that. So if I can do that, we're happy to do it. I just didn't know what the perception of the thought would be of a parent for this change.
I think it would be appreciated.
Yeah, I agree.
Are we doing temperature checks on these kids if they're coming in?
We will, yeah, because
Okay.
I have a scanner at the Civic Center, and now I'll tell you, Tony, and I've probably mentioned this to the board before. When that was installed, that was a point in that was a tough topic, and not a tough topic for me. Tough topic between Tom Walsh, who's our emergency management director, and Ruth Clay, and both have great points. They both are two very smart people, anyways. Ruth's feeling was the temperature scanner is a false sense of security, and I'll tell you why. I go in there and I scan my temperature, and I come in almost every day at 94.6. Okay, well, 98. If I was 98 on that, I probably actually have a fever, because mine's always 94. You know, Tom's thing was, well, we'd rather know that if somebody really had a fever or not. So I saw both sides of it. It is there. You know, does it help us? Does it hurt us? I don't know. You know, if the kids have been outside and we take their temperature, you know, after they've been on the turf, they might be through the roof. So it's a catch-22, but we have it there. And my thought is, we've been using it for the academy program. We might as well use it because it's there.
Hell yeah.
You know, and we'll log that stuff. So we just
But
kind of.
to your point, I was working with a vendor that if you walked in outside and it was 40 degrees out and you had your temperature taken, it was always to your 94 degrees.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was always low. You could have a fever, but it was, 40 degrees outside.
My feeling is it's a tool in our bag, so we might as well use it. But you know,
Absolutely.
I can see both sides of the Tom and Ruth debate, and you know, it certainly doesn't hurt to have it there. So, any other questions, concerns? That's all I have. Chris, anything?
No, I just wanted to say good luck to Annie, and if you need any help packing, I don't have I throw out all my boxes, but if you need any help, I'm a pro now.
Okay. I'll call you. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, and if you need a dumpster, I think Paul's still got one at the house too.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I wish everybody the best. Thank you.
Good luck, Annie.
You too. Good luck. Wow.
Thank you.
Best wishes. It sounds like it would be a nice place for your family, and Topsfield's a nice, quiet, rural kind of place to raise children. So good luck, Annie.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So everybody else, our next meeting will be on June 23rd. I don't know if that will be in person or remote yet. I am hopeful that we can meet in person, because I'd love to see everybody in person. I don't know where the town council is going with that yet. I know they are voting on something regarding this on June 14th. I know there's got to be some way for public participation if we wanted via a remote, or there's also going to be some sort of recording element to it. I don't know what any of that looks like yet, so we got a ways off. So it may be a virtual meeting, but I am hopeful that we can all get together and meet as a group again. And you know, Annie, we are gonna miss you. So best of luck to you guys. Don't be strangers. I know we're Facebook friends, so I can see what's going on there.
You can report back to everybody at the next meeting.
I'll keep you posted.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
You just need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Bye.
Bye.
All right. See everybody.
Bye, everyone.